Yesterday, new travel restrictions were announced due to the coronavirus Omicron variant, including new COVID testing requirements. Today, travel expert Angel Castellanos is joining us to share his well-tested travel tips. He's back in the States right now, but I understand, Angel, you've been dealing with various COVID travel restrictions all across the world. How's it been going?
It's been going great. Thanks for having me, Carlos. Good to be with you.
So let's get right into what are the new travel rules that people need to know about?
Well, President Biden announced a new CDC order that will take effect on Monday, and that is that all travelers, regardless of vaccine status and regardless of nationality, have to present a negative COVID test the day before they fly. And that change is from 3 days to now 1 day. So it has to be taken the day before you travel. The good news is that the type of test hasn't changed. So it can still be either an antigen test or a PCR test, as long as it's a viral test.
Angel, does this do anything to fundamentally change travel?
Well, I don't think so. It adds a bit of urgency. I think where things get really tricky is if you have an overnight layover or if a flight gets canceled or delayed and then you're outside of that 1 calendar day period. But I've been taking my COVID tests all over the world, and I usually take them the day before I travel anyway. So I think for most people, I think it's going to be okay. What I think it will do is it'll make a lot of the self-take and take-home tests a lot more popular.
You know, you bring this up, it sounds like you really need to be thoughtful, really be mindful of this and have a plan. So how do you get a COVID test once you're traveling overseas, and is it hard to find them?
You know, I've taken over 100 COVID tests all over the world, and it really depends on where you are traveling. For example, if you're taking a tropical vacation, if you're going to Central America, the Dominican Republic, or Costa Rica, a lot of those resorts in that part of the world have a system in place where there is a COVID testing center on property. So if you're looking to take a sunny vacation, see if your resort has something on the property. But if you're going to a big city like Paris, Rome, London, or Amsterdam, I've written several articles about getting a COVID test there, and there's COVID testing sites all over the place. You want to start with government websites, and those usually link to official sites that'll give you the ability to bookmark, let's say in your Google Maps, where the COVID testing centers are in the city that you're in.
So websites are one way to do this, but you know, we all like to have our phones and the convenience. We like using apps, Angel. So are there apps out there for travelers that are really helpful for this specific situation?
Oh, absolutely. You know, there's a website that I bookmark on my phone called Sherpa because they have the most concise and up-to-date information when it comes to all of these different travel restrictions, depending on where you're going. You know, airline booking sites like Skyscanner, within their app, you can actually see COVID restriction and requirement information as you're trying to book your airfare. And one of the key apps that I use quite frequently, especially because I fly American Airlines and British Airways, is the Verify app. I use that app to save a whole lot of time at the airport by uploading all of my documents, including my vaccine card and testing results.
Angel, we're almost out of time, but I wanted to ask you this. You've been traveling during the pandemic. When you go to hotspots, places that are travel hotspots, rather, not COVID hotspots, are travelers being welcomed right now? Is there wariness? How do you negotiate that?
No, travelers are definitely being welcomed. You know, the tourism industry is one of the biggest industries in the world. They want our American dollars as long as we're following the rules, as long as we're masking up, social distancing, and showing our vaccine cards when we're supposed to.
Follow the rules, have fun, see the world. Angel Castellanos, a travel expert with some great advice in these tricky times. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Thanks.